different name on a different server or anything like that. All right. Hey, Protoss.
Good luck. Have fun.
And we're really going to focus on a solid build here. I've been watching you guys' replays lately, and I want, especially in Terran versus Protoss, I think this is a matchup where people could use some direction. And we're not going to go for the top tier meta or anything like that. We're going to have a build you can rely on to be not dead. And there's so many things from Protoss that can just kill you. So we're just going to have... I think we're going to open up with siege tanks and then work our way into doing a bio-timing with stim. But getting that barracks right off the bat, getting my first gas. I'm not going to be getting a second gas for a little while here. And it's about 1 minute. Send that 17th SCV out. That's fine. He's got a probe in here. He wants to probe me early on. That just shows he's insecure. Okay, that's all that shows. And get into gas. And I'm going to be getting a reactor first. A reactor. I'm not going to go for a Reaper because I have the SCV Scout. You see he doesn't have an expansion. But I will have the gas almost immediately for that reactor. We'll see if he can escape. Will he try? It doesn't matter. But if I'm a Terran player... Oh, no. Use the fancy mineral walk. And then if I have the opportunity, I will always steal a Protoss's gas. This is super good. I'm going to use that halt key. A little bit of mineral walk. A little bit of fancy micro there. But this means, you know, if you steal a Protoss's gas and he hasn't expanded, his options are insanely limited. Looks like he's going to kill it. But that spends some time. I can cancel it. Don't worry about, like, the last second. No, there's no point in waiting that long. See, he's going to expand. I already expanded on the high ground. But this severely limits his options. I can get my factory now back at home. Why not throw the SCV back over here? And when the factory has started and I have the minerals, I'm going to be taking that second gas geyser. But I want to make sure before I'm getting into that gas, I have almost 16 SCVs on the minerals. Now, 16 SCVs is not the max limit, to reiterate. It is just the optimum efficiency. You can have 17, 18, up to 24 SCVs mining on a base and still get additional income. You're not going to just... It's not going to do nothing. But the first 16 SCVs all mine 100% of their potential. Every SCV after 16 starts mining a little bit less. And when you get up to 24, any additional SCVs don't actually mine anymore. It's because of how you can have two mining a patch around the same time, stuff like that. The details aren't that important right now. I actually have a video on that, if you want to go over it. The exact details with the map. But I'm going to use... I've re-hotkeyed my command center to the F key, by the way. SCV will slip in. See if we get any information. We see a robotics facility. We see some more buildings on the way. Doesn't really matter to me what they are. And I'm going to do some harass. Okay. I'm going to go for a Liberator. And that Liberator will allow me to keep him busy. I'm going to send one Marine and shift-click 1 on the selection group and then control 1 after I send it out. And I got supply block because I'm a noob. So don't do that. But now adding on 2 barracks after everything is set up here. The idea with this is I'm going to have a nice, strong 2-base army. I'm going to be able to potentially scout what he's doing. Also, by the way, supply drop. Supply drop is completely worth it. If you're supply blocked and you're not building a depot, completely worth it to use a supply drop. We're going to hotkey this Liberator on 3, but 100% worth it, by the way. I'm going to get an engineering bay here. I've got another tank. I'm going to siege it up over here. I'm going to get a single Viking. I'd be like, why? This Viking is to help kill warp prisms and stuff. And I don't really need medevacs yet, because I don't plan on moving out till I have my big upgrades. So we're going to get into a nice spot with this Liberator as I get my tech labs on the barracks. We can siege it up. Of course, maybe you want to be a little careful with it. This is actually a really nice position. You don't want to spend too much time looking at it. He was able to kill it. That's not a big deal. I'm getting my stim started. I'm still building Marines. I got my reactor. And now, we're just going to take a look. The big information now, I'm going to have this Viking. I'm going to put it on patrol up here. I got almost supply blocks, so we're going to build that. The big question now is whether he's taking a third base. If he's not taking a third base, then he's not going to have that way better economy than me, and I can send a Marine all up around in the corners. I'm sending it to the obvious one, but you know a lot of the times players do things that aren't obvious. I'm actually a little bit late. I always say start your upgrade, at least one upgrade by 6 minutes. It's 6:20. That's late. We're going to get the medevacs here. He doesn't have a third. I'm going to scan the front. Looks like he has a lot of stalkers. He has some adepts. But I'm building an army that is not scared of those even a little bit. So I'm going to get a turret in each mineral line. This is in case of Dark Templar. Just in case. I don't know if he has Dark Templar. I started my third base. 6 or 7 minutes is a little bit late. But, if your opponent, especially if a Protoss isn't going for a third base... Oh, do you see that observer there? Give it 2 seconds. Do you see it now? A tip for scouting observers, by the way, they're a lot easier to see when they're moving. So you can just zoom in and out if you have that enabled. And it makes it look like it's moving. Fun fact. And I got supply blocked again. You know, I gotta work on that. Everybody has things they can improve on. But I'm adding on 2 more barracks. I'm gonna add on an armory and another engineering bay. I've been building SCVs. If you hover over that top right, you see your SCV count. If it's not 70, you're not done. Alright. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna get some turrets on the edge. And I think if we're playing it safe, we simply go for the sensor towers as well. Why not? I think people don't make enough sensor towers in general. Looks like he's taking a third base, and that's going to be a trigger to move out there. So now I have medevacs. I have more medevacs on the way. I'm going to have my +1. So what I want to do, I'm hotkeying all this together. There's no real need. By the way, 2 reactors here. If you have 5 barracks, a good spread is 3 reactors. And 2 tech labs. That's a good basic number. I finished this. I'm going to take this base. I'm going to set a camera location hotkey. And as I'm moving out, I'm going to make sure I'm building. I'm building SCVs, and I'm going to scan the front. And I see there's his army, right? So it has a void ray. But before I engage or anything like that, I want to make sure I'm doing everything I need to be doing at home. Bunch of SCVs. We'll drop some mules. Gonna build a bunch of units, make sure I spend my money, start a supply depot, and now, because I've done all the stuff I need to do at home, just in case this isn't the sickest game-ending attack of all time, I can attack. And I stim. My tanks were already in position. I didn't move them up. I moved them out of range, because siege tanks have super long range. I'm gonna switch to my production hotkey down here, and we're actually gonna see that the Void Rays are going to win. So I'm going to unsiege my tanks. I'm going to boost and get out of there. But that was still a very good fight because I still have my tanks. And honestly, at this point, it's better to have Widow Mines than it is to have more tanks. I would rather have Widow Mines in this situation because tanks aren't so good against Void Rays. Fun fact. But we're going to have all the gas here. I'm going to take some SCVs. I'm using my camera location hotkeys to flip around, by the way. We're going to set up a sensor tower at this base. But we're in a situation where I have my upgrades, I have my production, and now I just need to stick with it. I have 67 SCVs. I should put a bunker over here. I'm getting a sensor tower, even has this. I'm going to scan again. What's your army look like? You making more void rays? That doesn't look like very many probes, does it? He's making cannons. Cannons aren't that good. They're not units that can attack me, right? What is this? Is that a bunch of void rays about to try to kill me? I think it is. I'm going to control-click my Marines and stim them. So that way I'm not stimming my Marauders or bringing my tanks as well. Going to make more depots. And let's see if we can catch these void rays. Do a little bit of fancy A click, A click, A click, A click. And there you go. But A click and then a right click, and then A click and then another right click is how that works. So that way you fire, but then you stop firing to move, so that way when you fire again, all your Marines are firing. I neglected to mention the right clicks. That's what I was doing in between there. But I'm getting another base. We're building Widow Mines. I look at his army. We can get a couple scans. As time goes on, this army gets worse and worse, while my army gets better and better. Because Void Rays against Widow Mines... Remember, Widow Mines actually do extra damage to shields as well. And I neglected to even click on his units and look at the upgrades. He has 0-1-0, and on the Void Rays he has 1-1-1. I'm working on 3-2 on my attack and my armor. Which is, Marines fire very quickly, which means that attack upgrade is applied a lot of times, which is a big, big deal. I'm not going to give you the math right now, but for a unit that fires very quickly, like a Marine, weapons upgrades are very important. And for a unit that takes a lot of damage, like a Zealot, armor upgrades are important. Usually, in most cases, as most races, weapons upgrades are the preference, but not always. You still want those armor upgrades, though. We're going to siege up the tanks, and I'm going to stim. And this is how you know you've macroed well. You shouldn't need to do anything. And that's going to happen a lot. You're like, well, what if he has Storm? Well, yes, if he has something like Storm, then we don't need to worry. We need to worry about other things. We need to get Ghosts. We need to get Liberators. But we got the right units, we put them in the right place, and the right things are happening.